about 75 people who are taking a day out of their weekend to learn how to do the job they do for free better. I mean, think about what we're doing here. We're learning how to do the job we do for free better. If this were our boss saying, hey, I need you to wear funny green clothes and come to this meeting Saturday at camp for 10 hours, you'd be like, what, do you have your mind? I'm not doing that. But you do it because you're called to. You feel it. You know it's important. You know that what you do makes a difference. You get the story that says that those folks who, you know that old song, I Believe the Children of the Future, right? You got that song? Remember that one, Whitney Houston or whoever, whatever iteration? You get that that message is just wrong. You get it. The children are not the future. That is so easy. That is so convenient. The children of the future, I'll start my diet tomorrow. Okay? It's the same thing. You get that the children are right now. They're today. They're not the future. They're today. And if we don't do something today, if we don't visit our units today, if we don't get involved with them today, if we don't teach them the values they need today, tomorrow never gets here. The future doesn't come. We make it. We form it. We craft it. And we craft it by what we do today. And you get that. And our role in this movement, going back 100 years, is to spread the gospel. We form units. We talk to parents. We work with kids. We bring resources. We educate our units, our scout leaders, on this program. We have to spend our time in the units because we are the quality stop for this program. We talked about retention. You guys had a 45% retention last year. That's a lot of bleeding. We got to fix that. Nationally, we're at about 65%. What does that mean? Let me put that into real numbers. You look at 65% and you say, okay, 65%. We have 3 million kids. We're going to recruit 1 million and lose 1 million. 1 million kids who made the buying decision to join Boy Scouts. We talked to their mom. We got them to do it. They bought the uniform. They bought the book. They went to a couple meetings and they said, not for me. Why do they do that? We know that this is the greatest movement in the history of the world. We know that this is divine intervention that actually created this movement, the largest youth movement in the history of the world, is the Boy Scouts. And yet we lose 1 million kids a year who walk away from us. Now sure, some turn 18, not 1 million of them. They leave because of program. They leave because we don't have trained leaders giving them a great program. They leave because we don't have enough unit commissioners visiting those units and spotting the need for trained leaders to give them the program. We are where retention happens. We talked a little bit about the national reorganization, and at that point in time, everybody was claiming pieces of the movement. They said, well, we'll be responsible for this, and we'll be responsible for that, and I wrote a check for you guys. I said, my commissioners will be responsible for retention. It is our job to make sure that leaders are trained, and kids are camping, and units are running like they're supposed to run. We are the eyes and ears of the movement. We are the resource bringers of the movement. And if we believe everything that I've talked about, if we believe in the importance of the movement, we've got to do that. Now, what does that mean? That means we actually have to visit our units. It means that we have to be trained as commissioners, and we have to visit our units and make sure they're running properly. And frankly, we got to plug it into unit visitation so that we know what's going on out there. And I know I'll take some questions on unit visitation. I don't want to dwell on it here. But the key for us is to be the eyes and ears of our district executive, of our council executive, and of our council, and of this movement. It is an enormous responsibility because every time we lose a unit, 10, 15, 20 kids lose the benefit of this movement. They lose the order of the arrow. They lose the idea of servant leadership. They lose Philmont. They lose the opportunity to test themselves, to challenge their fears. They lose making those relationships with people that are going to be with them for their lifetime. Every one of you who's been in scouting can name your scoutmaster and all the buddies that were in your patrol. You're probably still in touch with them. You're probably doing business with them. I went to my scoutmaster's funeral the other day. They lose all of that if we don't do our jobs. And I know that's a heavy lift, but that's what we were called to do. You didn't sign up for it. You didn't volunteer. You were called to do it. You're here on a gorgeous Saturday with a big OU game this afternoon, dressed in green. There's a reason for that. There's something inside you that says this matters, and you know it, and you recognize it. And I thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about your council, because you are now in a mode of incredible opportunity. You hit your FOS number this year. Congratulations on that. That is a big deal. I know you're at about 102% of your FOS, and that's great. We got a lot of kids to recruit. We got a lot of talking to do. And our job is to help do that, but our job is really to make sure that once those kids get in there, they've got resources. And that might mean multiplying your ranks as commissioners. That might mean taking on an extra unit for a time period. But you get to reinvent Last Frontier Council. 5 years ago, you had about 30,000 kids. This year, you're going to have 9,000. You've got some building to do. You've got incredible opportunity. You've got phenomenal growth opportunity. You get a couple choices in life. You can look back in life and dwell on mistakes and say, oh my gosh, what a nightmare we've had. It's been so hard. Or you can stand where you are and look forward and say, oh my gosh, we're at 9,000 kids. We could recruit another 9,000 this year. We could double our membership if we focused and grow forward. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to realize that what we are offering these kids is the most extraordinary opportunity of their lifetime. They will look back, if they stay in the program and become Eagle Scouts, or even stay in the program a few years, and realize that their lives have changed. We're making better men. We're making better women. We're creating people that we want out in society. We got a country, a nation that's starved for leaders of character. Both parties, all sides. No partisan. We need leaders of character. We need men and women who have grown up in our scouting movement driving the bus, because we tend to wander sometimes. We are pretty much, with the exception of the churches, we are the only organization that says there's right and wrong. Character matters. Here are some values to live by. Here are the standards, and here's the compass point on which to lead your life. Nobody else does that. It's a special charge for us. And yeah, you know what, I want you to raise money for FOS because I want you to make your budget. But I want the FOS so you can serve more kids. And I want you to recruit kids so Jeff can, you know, in 5 or 6 years, get a big promotion, make a bunch of money. But I want you to recruit more kids because every kid you recruit changes a life later. You're making a better husband. You're making a better father. You're making someone who's going to go to school and be successful. That's what we do. You look at the kids at Little Sioux, that's what we do. Those are the kids that we make, and those are the product of our services. So I'll leave you with this. As we go into the next 100 years, and this is our 100th anniversary, we're deciding right now, by our actions, by the roles that we play and the meetings that we make or choose not to make, whether or not we're going to be here for another 100 years. Society is changing. We are an anchor in this society. We are where people go. That's why our numbers are growing. That's why we're getting more adults in. That's why across the country, councils that are working hard, just like yours, are seeing more money come in the door. People are recognizing the value of character and leadership in scouting. Jump on board with this thing. There's a lot of work to do here. You guys could really grow and explode and be one of the leading councils in America within 12 months because you're starting from a level that says there's plenty of room to grow. Don't get weighed down by the past. You know, I talk to a lot of African American and Hispanic kids in my community because, you know, there's a lot of discrimination out there and we have choices in our lives. And when you're hiking a trail, you have the opportunity, if there is a tree laid across the trail blocking your path, you've got two options. Number one, you can complain about the tree blocking your trail and moan about it and whine about it. Say, I can't believe there's a tree blocking my trail. And that can be a stumbling block. Or you can stand up on the branches and climb over the tree, and from the top of that tree you get a really good view down the road, down the trail. So we get to choose if these obstacles are stumbling blocks or they're stepping stones. We got a lot of stepping stones in this council, and we can work with those and grow and focus and stay engaged. But the most important thing to do, really, is realize why you're really doing this. As a national commissioner, I get to go around the country. I get to see groups, and the groups are the same. They're just wonderful people who realize, who are committed, and who have been called to serve their families and their communities. And when you get tired, and when you get angry or bored at the district committee meetings, or you get frustrated, just remember what it's really for. We change lives. We make the kids from Little Sioux, we make the leaders of tomorrow, and for that, and for all your service here, I thank you, and I'll take any questions you guys might have. Yes, sir.
I've got a question for you.